Yo, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are good. My name is Homoto Neto Tleani, and I'm a photographer based in Johannesburg. So I'm trying this thing out, yo. So this is a platform where I'll basically be chatting about the inspiration and process behind some of my photographs, some of the photos that I've made, who I referenced, what I looked at before I shot, and hopefully it becomes, like a bunch of videos or like a series of some sort where I chat about work. I think the first one that I want to talk about is a recent shoot that I did with The Brother Moves On. The Brother Moves On is a band, a South African band. They've been around, I think, since 2009, somewhere there. But I only got to know about them around 2015. I got introduced to their music then, and I've been a fan ever since. Like, they address a lot of issues, social, political issues, stuff that basically me as a young South African person I can relate to. So it was quite a dope thing to have one of the founding members, Siam Tembu, to approach me and be like, yo man, I'd really love for you to be part of the project. So to basically capture the images for their next upcoming album called He Who Feeds You Owns You, or is it He She Who Feeds You Owns You, somewhere there. But yeah, so he approached me like, yo, would love for you to capture the images for this. And knowing what The Brother Moves On is about with their music, and also they had sent me some of the files for their music for me to listen to get some sort of inspiration. I thought about how I would like to shoot this. I mean, the band members are quite a lot, and I didn't want to fall into shooting them like how bands have been shot. I needed something that will gel really well with The Brother Moves On, you know? And I mean, naturally, I shoot a lot in the streets, or used to. So I was like, you know what, I think it would be quite cool to make the cover like a people's cover, so to say, or not People, the magazine, like cover ya batho, you know? And I thought of like ordinary people in the city, how everyone is always on a move, everyone is always like hustling, everyone is like minding their own business, doing their own thing. And that was like the main inspiration behind the cover that I would end up shooting for them. But there was a few inspirations that came with that, you know, and the first one I want to talk about is the work of Andrew Shabangu, who I looked at his work, some of the stuff that he did in the city around 2003 and 2004, like this specific image here. So this was shot in Johannesburg around 2003, and I mean, it just shows you how busy the city is at that time. And I feel like the city has always been like this. It's always been so busy, even till today. It's still very much like a place that's like fast-paced, and everyone is here for the hustle. Even with this, you know, like I spent quite a lot of time at Bree. So this is Bree in a different time. I think this is 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew Shabangu shot this. So you see, people still use like, you can see the bus. The bus just gives it away that this is like quite an old photo, you know. I was 14 when this picture was taken. I checked out Andrew Shabangu's work as like some of the inspiration for the photos that I'll end up creating. I also looked at Gordon Parks' work, specifically this image. I mean, it's a pose portrait, yes, but I really love how also what's happening in the background, where it's like a normal day in the hood. Like it's a really beautiful moment there. You see kids playing. It's quite busy, but then you still see this gentleman with his bike, which is quite a beautiful photo. This was taken in 1949 in Harlem, New York, by Gordon Parks. I also checked out David Goldblatt's work, the work that he shot, some of the portraits that he shot in the mines. He had a book titled On the Mines. I think it was released in 1973, and there's like some really beautiful portraits there, and I thought those portraits could also work as the inspiration for the shoot, because besides doing the street photograph, I also wanted to like do like a few portraits of the guys, you know. And I mean, besides the photos themselves, in the images that I'm showing, I really like how people are dressed, you know. They are dressed like, they look really beautiful, but at the same time, they're dressed like ordinary people who are at work, you know. And I think that's what I wanted the image to sort of like communicate a working person in the city, basically. And yeah, all those guys like Andrew Shabangu, Gordon Parks, David Goldblatt, those works I looked at before I went to go shoot, and I presented them like a small and a mood board to the guys. They really liked it. The idea was for them to rock up as looking like an ordinary person in the city. I mean, if they have like really cool clothes, it's okay. They can leave them at home, but find something that like could make them sort of like blend into the city. So like, let's say with this image, for instance, so these are all the band members, but for me here, I wanted the photo to look like it's almost like a moment that was taken or observed in the city. Like, I didn't want it to look like it was staged. So I mean, a few people that I've shown this image before whom didn't know who these guys are, they really just thought it's like a normal, like a random image of Joburg, you know. But yeah, I literally just told the guys like, yo, you guys will be seated or standing or walking in different directions. People will be minding their own business. Some might be talking. You can see Sons with the drummer in the front there lighting a cigarette. Ayanda is there at the back walking out of a shop, and Sia and Zweli, they're sitting there, and Sia selling something. So yeah, it was basically just to create an image that will make it feel like it's a random day in the city, and it sort of like represents the everyday working person of Joburg, you know. And this one was quite deliberate. I've had them sort of like look into camera, because yeah, the images will be used for different things like PR stuff, and also be used for the album itself. And I think from there, I just started punching in. I shot like portraits of the guys, still making it feel like it's like photos taken in the street, somewhere they're looking into camera. I really love how they came out. I think I sort of achieved what I wanted to, like what I had hoped would come out with the images, you know. And yeah, we just, I guess, you know, when you're there, when you're in the moment, you just keep going and messing around with more images, and wherever the light is beautiful, you walk in there and just shoot, you know. So we're at Bree Street, and we walked up all the way to like North Texarang, which is quite a busy Texarang, and captured other moments of the city there, which will also be used for the actual album, you know. I mean, yeah, this just represents the everyday person, or the everyday people who work in the city. You can see how packed it is, you know. It's quite intimidating shooting in the city because people are very like vigilant when it comes to like cameras, you know. So shot this, and yeah, it came out really beautiful. The guys really did enjoy some of the shots. I also did, and I think this came out how I had, I guess, thought about it. And I think that's the one thing that sometimes happens with photography, that the image sometimes is in the planning. And I think with this, I had to sort of like really think about how this would work for me, and also work for the band coming first in this instance. But I mean, also as a photographer, you still want to have a bit of you in the image. And yeah, I think for me, that's about it for this specific one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I get to do more. Thanks, yo.